Are you someone that is still grieving the loss of a relationship that maybe ended a long time ago? Well, one of the things that the divas know about grieving is that there's really no time limit to it. It, you can actually, when you have the loss of a relationship, you can grieve it. You can grieve for so many reasons. It might be loss of a home. It might be loss of expectations. I posted on our Emotion Code Divas page a interview that I did with a grief coach, Deborah, and she talks about and explains that grieving is the loss of hopes and dreams. And that's exactly what is going on for our viewer today, Jacqueline, who I'm going to be working on. So the grieving process, what goes on with it is often you do feel like a victim, especially in a relationship. If that person has left you, you didn't want that to happen. And there can even be PTSD can happen, trauma can happen after that. And so you do need to get some type of care and some type of healing or some type of therapy or something to actually help you move through that process. So on today's show, that's what we're going to be talking about, and we're going to share a lot of educational information as well. I'm Dana J. Smithers. I'm one of the Emotion Code Divas, and not only do I do Emotion Code, but I do Reiki, love working with doing a lot of work with women and relationships, either ones that have ended or ones that they're looking for. So it seems to be what I've attracted right now. So Helena, please introduce yourself.
Good morning, Dana and everyone. I am Helena Jenikin. I am a certified emotion code practitioner as well as a certified clinical hypnotherapist. And I love helping men and women release excess weight, overcoming fears and phobias, as well as helping them stop smoking. I am the stopsmokinglady.com. And Dana, ever since I found out about the emotion code, which was actually through you, you were helping me, coaching me through as I was starting my business, and you were using the emotion code to help me along through all my little procrastinations, all my little fears, all my little worries, and I was so amazed at how quickly I was able to get through stuff that I'd been stuck on for so long that I wanted to become an emotion code practitioner like you did.
Right. And you've got all your wonderful hypnotherapy tools, and you're always learning, you're always taking courses, you're always going to conferences, so you're always expanding your knowledge. And that's an important thing to do, whatever healing industry you're in, or any business actually, to stay current with what's going on. And also, as you continue to do the work, you're going to become much better at it and gain your confidence as well. So if you're just learning about the emotion code or wanting to do it on yourself, just know that it takes a bit of time and just be patient. So we're going to dive right in today. And interestingly enough, last week I talked about something from Louise Hay's book, You Can Heal Your Life. If you haven't read it, it's a great book. Mine's coffee stained and mangled and earmarked and everything else. But interesting, last week's person that we worked on had lower back pain as well, because what we ask our clients is what symptoms are showing up for you. So one of the first ones that Jacqueline said is that she has back pain problems. So I'm just going to read from Louise Hay's book what that back pain is, and also the affirmation that she gives. And I always say, as a law of attraction trainer, if affirmations work for you, use them. If you are saying I'm happy, healthy, and wise, and you're not feeling it, please stop doing it, because Helena is going to show you a little bit of a relationship with what you're thinking and what the results that you're actually getting. So if you can't just, yes, I am this, I feel this, then switch it up to I'm in the process of. I find that's an easier, more gentle one to use, but you can, affirmation only work if you absolutely believe them. If you've got sticky notes all over the house and you have to look at them to remember what you have to say, they're probably not working. All right, so lower back pain, according to Louise Hay's, fear of money, lack of financial support. And the affirmation that she's suggesting, and she does use affirmations, is I trust the process of life. All I need is always taken care of. I am safe. And again, if you're going to use that affirmation, you have to 100% believe it is true for you, because if you don't, then just leave it until you find one that does resonate with you. So that's lower back pain that Jacqueline says she has. But I also want to read what middle back pain is. So lower back pain is definitely in your sacral chakra, but middle back pain is in your solar plexus. So the middle back pain, guilt, stuck in all that stuff back there. And the quote is, get off my back. And the affirmation that Louise is suggesting is, I release the past. I am free to move forward with love in my heart. And we all know how big a role forgiveness plays in being able to move forward. So Helena, let's just quickly go through what we've already done, what I've already set up with Jacqueline. So I have her
permission. Yeah.
And I am acting as her
proxy.
Excellent. And the severity, she said that her back pain, I think, is a 7 and some neck pain is a 5, but I'm going to test the overall severity because I have a feeling it's a little bit higher there. And then to do that, how I'm actually going to test it is through
muscle testing. Yeah.
And what I'm going to do is, when I'm doing the muscle testing today, I'm actually going to use, I've got my magnets. Helena and I have both got magnets that we're going to use. So if it's Jacqueline's emotion, I'm going to do 3 swipes from the governing meridian to the back of my head. If it's inherited, I'll do 10. But instead of using the traditional, have you got the chart there, Helena? That's okay if you don't.
Where is it? I got it.
Yeah,
that one.
So this is one that Helena and I have used. We laminate it. We use it for sessions. We also do it if we're doing a seminar, workshop, or something and working with people. But I've got my own that I've actually color-coded as well with chakras, because I do a lot of work with chakras. I've actually made up some of my own emotions for the root chakra, the crown, and the third eye. It's just something that I've been testing out. But when we look at this, Dr. Brad tells us what body part or gland is actually being affected. So if I look at the emotion code chart and I look at, let's say I look at the even row of row 2, that's the solar plexus right there. So I could just go ahead and see if any of these emotions are locked. I could also then go down to the sacral chakra and see which of these emotions happen to be there as well. So that's one way that I do my sessions that are a little bit different from the way another emotion code practitioner might be trained. And Helena, what is one of the most important things that we need?
Hydration. Lots and lots of water, because water allows the electricity to flow through our brain and our body. So cheers.
Cheers, yeah. And also, we live in the west coast of Canada, and it doesn't usually get that hot here, but we could say we're having our heat wave, which is probably about 27 Celsius, so maybe that's, I don't know what is in centigrade, maybe 78 or something like that. So for other people that I was talking to yesterday, it was 104 in Texas. I go, so our 76. It's going like, no, it doesn't count. All right. So Helena, would you take a look at Dr. Brad's book, and let's just have that definition of what grief is.
Mm-hmm. So from Dr. Brad's book, this is great. This new book has all the definitions in it. Grief, suffering due to loss of a loved one, death of a dream, disaster, misfortune, and so on. And it's a universal reaction to bereavement. And it can also arise from unmet expectations.
Exactly. So just thanks, Helena. Just a little bit about who I'm working on today, and Helena's going to look up some of the emotions that come up as well. But so Jacqueline, divorced a long time ago. I'm not sure when she was divorced, but this happened where the relationship, um, husband and wife parted ways 12 years ago. She was left somewhat destitute, and she had children. So those are things that it's absolutely natural to grieve and to have strong feelings about. So I've gone ahead, I've connected with Jacqueline's subconscious, and I'm going to start working on her. But the first one that came up that I just did while Helena was talking was abandonment. And Helena, I would love for you to read that because Dr. Brad's got two descriptions about abandonment there.
Mm-hmm. So abandonment could be physical abandonment, is having been left alone, left behind, or deserted. Or it's an emotional abandonment, and it's having been given up on, withdrawn from, separated from, or emotionally deserted. It's a feeling of being left behind in a non-physical form. This can also apply to financial abandonment. Yeah.
Yeah. So when I saw that one and it popped up in my mind, however it works for you, if I get capital letters on a word that comes up, then I know it's a strong emotion, and that one is the biggest one. So I've just released that for you, Jacqueline. So that, when we do this, and it is a short time that we're doing, but we have set the same intention that we would if we were doing a longer session. So I've released that trapped emotion of abandonment because I really, really, really want you to get on creating a happy, healthy, abundant life. And yeah, Helena is going to talk about this is law of attraction here, right? So Helena, go ahead and explain this relationship with what she's believing that, I can never have the life I want. This is too hard. I'm struggling. Even, I do go on to, if I'm working on a viewer, I always go on to your website. So I'm just going to ask those of you who, if we do work on you, I want you to be mindful of what you are posting on your Facebook page. So take a look at it, and Helena, explain this, and let's just see why they maybe are getting the same result that they're getting because they're sending the same message out to the universe.
That's right. So this is the law of attraction formula, and it says that your words that you use create your thoughts. And your thoughts will create your vibes, moods, or feelings. And Dana, there's only two. There's only two feelings in the world, positive or negative. And that feeling will create a result. So if you'd like a different result, we need to go back all the way to the words that you're using to create a different thought, to create a different feeling, a different result. But it's really interesting what you were saying about the affirmations and stating something, and maybe it doesn't feel so good. So interesting that when I work with my smokers, they'll come to me and they go, oh, I don't want a cigarette. I don't want a cigarette, but all I can think about is a cigarette. And that's because the subconscious mind doesn't hear the words don't, not, and no. And so what I ask them to do is reframe it and actually talk about what they do want. And what they do want is to be healthy. They want to live a long and healthy life. They want to be in control of their thoughts, their actions, their behaviors. They want connection, all this kinds of stuff. So for our viewer today that's finding stuck in the past, the grieving, not being able to move forward on with her life, is take a look at the words that you're saying. And it could be, I am safe and secure. I'm creating my destiny. I'm in charge of my life. And then see if that makes a positive a thought, and if that feels positive, then continue on with it. So words, thoughts, vibes, results.
Exactly. And one of the a statement that you can make that is hugely powerful, rather than saying I am trying to, that immediately is negative. So that's just going to bring you more negative energy, attention, energy, or focus. But when you get to that place of I have decided, and it could be I have decided and you could say, I'm in the process of changing my beliefs. But once you have decided and made a conscious effort about it, everything shifts.
Yeah.
Everything shifts. And that's the beauty of having that power, because we are co-creators of our own life. We create this existence that we have. I mean, Helena mentioned early on in the show that how she came to Emotion Code is that I was coaching her in business. And one of the things that we had to do, as brilliant and smart and all the things that Helena is, some of her beliefs were around a lack of abundance. And that lack of abundance, that feeling enters into everything. So it's not just going to show up one place in your life. It shows up everywhere, and it's part of your vibrational bubble. So that's where you have to start being mindful of, what are you saying to yourself? What are you saying to other people? Are you still telling the same story that you were, or has it lessened? And can we move on? And have you decided to move on and change your life? I know for me that happened. I remember it. I can see it in my mind. It was 3 a.m. in the morning, and I was 34 years old, and I was not living a happy life. And I said, I've decided to change this. And everything changed. It wasn't super easy road, but it was definitely way better than the road I was going down of unhappiness. So some of the emotions I just erased and released for you, Jacqueline, are anger, helplessness, panic, self-abuse, and humiliation. Humiliation. So that is, Helena, do you want to just look that one up in Dr. Brad's book? That is a really big one, and this is one that comes up a lot with the women that I'm working with. A lot of women that do go through grief do put on weight. A lot of them do start drinking, and they just feel like they've totally gotten out of control, and they feel humiliated.
Yeah. So, that's one word I have trouble saying, humiliation.
Humiliation.
Thank you very much. A painful loss of pride, dignity, or self-respect. Feeling mortified, embarrassed.
Yeah. And that can help happen so much with anybody that's gone through what they feel is a humiliating situation. And with Dr. Brad's chart, I mean, he's narrowed it down to these 60 emotions. Almost everybody feels, I'd say probably all of these emotions at one time in their life. So we're not, we're never, we don't want people to think, oh, this has only happened to you, but we do want you to own it and know that these things can change, and they're common to a lot of people. So Helena, do we want to say hello to a few people that are watching?
I want to say hello to one specific person, and it's my friend. She's also a clinical hypnotherapist as well as a master NLP practitioner and trainer, and Ishel, and she's watching from Turkey. So hello, Ishel. I know.
That's wonderful.
She actually has really shared some wonderful stuff about NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming, but she is a change master. And I look forward to adding NLP to my repertoire down the road. Of course I do.
Yeah. I think like a lot of us, we know a little bit about a lot of things, but we kind of go after what really speaks to us. Mm-hmm. And Helena, because she has that sacred gift of knowledge, she is always seeking and learning new things. So we love that. Yeah. So Natasha Paula Samuel, our Rumford, Essex viewer and watcher, thanks so much. We did some work on Natasha a while ago. Natasha, we'd love to know how you're doing. Kelly Carson is watching. Hi, Kelly. We worked on Kelly not too long ago as well. So let us know how you're doing. And remember that you could watch the recorded show because we'll be posting it. So Helena, do you have your chart or no?
Hang on 1 second.
Because I'm just going to go ahead and do some. Okay, good. All right. Okay, so I'm just going to ask, are there any other trapped emotions in the solar plexus that I can remove at this time? So yes, they're in A. No, they're in B. So B even. So it's 2, 4, 6. So 2. So I'm going up to B2, so trapped emotion of failure. Yes, I'm just going to actually go through all of them. Trapped emotion of failure. Yes. Do I have the emotion of helplessness? Yes. Hopelessness? Yes. Lack of control? Yes. Low self-esteem? Yes. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to remove all of those at once in one go. I could do each one individually, but I do believe strongly I'm going to ask the question, do these 5 trapped emotions belong to me, Jacqueline? Yes. So they belong to me. Can I release them? Yes. So I'm just going to go ahead and release those right now. Release them right now. All right. And I'll just ask the question, did I release them? Yes. Are there others? Actually, I'm going to do that one, Helena, that we've been doing on the show, the psychic or vibrational resonance. So, Helena, do you want to explain what that is? And I'm just going to go ahead and see where what that trapped emotion is. So,
Sure. So a psychic or vibrational resonance is an emotion that's vibrating through all areas of your life. And it's really interesting. When we release this, people's lives just kind of click all the way through and start to change. One of the things that I find after an emotion code session, as we release this, people's ideas about what is possible all of a sudden come bubbling up to the surface and they become aware of it. And they often say, well, I never thought about that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Nice to hear from your friend.
Mhm.
So what just came up for Jacqueline when I did is there a psychic or vibrational resonance that I can release at this time that has been permeating my Jacqueline's life? And the trapped emotion that came up is worthless.
Oh, oh.
So Jacqueline, this is an emotion that a lot of women feel. They have low self-esteem, low self-worth, but it's not, sometimes it can be very much a cultural thing. It can be a family dynamic where, um, as a woman, as a daughter, I'm working with someone right now that, the mother, I'm very convinced is very mentally unstable. And since I'm doing inner child with this woman, so much is coming up of things that she remembers, really hurtful things that her mother said to her, and blaming and name calling and labeling and all sorts of things. So if this emotion has come up for anybody, and it has for Jacqueline, just know that you're not alone with this. And Dr. Brad wouldn't have it in his book or on his chart if it wasn't a common emotion. So what does he say about that, Helena?
Yeah. So worthless is of no importance or value, without goodness of character, quality, or esteem, serving no purpose.
Yeah. And nothing could be further from the truth, Jacqueline. You have children, you have friends, you're very important in this world. And I'm actually going to be spending one of the shows talking about sacred gifts. And I think once people get aligned with more of what their purpose is, and it really, really resonates with them, that life changes and they get on a different path. It doesn't mean that you're going to do it right away. And Helena, if I may use you as an example, may I do that about,
You may
yeah.
do that.
So, when we first started, the business was all event planning, and, you're fabulous at it. You love the work, and you had such joy with it. And then all of a sudden, boom, right? Almost like mic drops, right? Not liking it anymore. So in the background, you started to get interested in hypnosis
Yeah.
and healing. And so this is a sacred gift of healing that came up. And even though you're very good at the event planning, you don't have to do it for the rest of your life.
Hmm. Yeah. But I didn't know before we did the emotion code stuff.
That's right. So these are things that come up, right? Like, why do you have low self-esteem? Well, maybe you're not living on purpose, or maybe you're not feeling on purpose, or you're not feeling that the work you're doing is meaningful.
Yeah.
So that's what we're all looking for in life.
Yeah. And something earlier you were saying that I'd like to bring up is about the worthless and maybe even at the beginning, humiliation. And one of the statements I like to give my clients is a idea of overcoming what other people think of me, because what other people think of me is none of my business.
Yeah,
But what I think about me is my business.
exactly. Yeah, and when you can get to that stage, you really know that you've gone from victim to empowered. It's not that we don't care, of course we care, but it doesn't direct your life. It doesn't mean that you have to start being that people pleaser if that's who you were once in your life, because that gets very, very tiring. Indeed. All right, Helena, I'm just going to wrap up the show. I just released myself from being proxy. Kelly Carson made a comment that, yes, you eliminated my chocolate chip habit. In fact, I had to throw them out. They got too old. I just never ate them again after my session. Before the session, I couldn't go past the cupboard without eating a handful. And I have to tell you, Helena, I don't know if it's a couple months ago, but you released my popcorn
Oh,
at the movies. Well, I have maybe gone to maybe 8 movies, zero interest in popcorn, so I'm a bit ticked about that in a way. But when I went the other day, I went with my sister, and so she got some popcorn. And I had some, but you know what? I only had a little bit, but after I thought, I didn't really enjoy that. So if you really want to get rid of a habit of eating a particular food, the emotion code is exceptional for that. So you better really want to get rid of it. I know Sylvia Bellini, who's often watched our show, got rid of potato chips, crisps, as she calls them. And she said, you really have to want to get rid of something because you're never going to eat them again. So,
yeah.
all right. So thanks for watching. And next month, we're going to do something different. Next month is Helena and I are going to be doing more educational programs. We'll have a few that we're going to record, but when they're live, we want you to ask us anything. So the next show, so we're not looking for a viewer, but if you have a question, you can ask us. So next show, episode 82, is tips for a healthier, wealthier, sexier lifestyle.
Yeah.
So that might be of interest, ladies. So please join us. Please feel free, and we do invite you to share. And if you can't watch the live show, then please watch the recording. So Helena, how can people get a hold of you?
So people can get a hold of me through my website, which is flourishhypnosis.com. /emotion code. I also have a Facebook page, Flourish Hypnosis, and a couple of YouTube channels as well.
That's great. I'm just reading another testimonial here. Helena's going to be doing a show of testimonials, so if you want to, you can be live on that show. Michelle Anderson, you worked on me in May, and September 1st, I start my business at a wellness spa. Thank you for helping me branch out. Isn't that wonderful? Yeah, love it. Okay. All right. You can find me, DanaSmithers.com, emotion-code. And my YouTube channel is Empowered Women in Business. And I have a lot of different playlists on there. You can find all 81 episodes of the Emotion Code Divas and lots on the Law of Attraction. So bye for now. Please share and join us next week if you can.